Hi guys. So today in day 23 I will cover weed science subject. Okay, it is a small subject wherein you can expect 1 mark. Okay, it is a very simple subject. You cover everything and especially I will share some points which are important to revise. Okay, very simple subject but important. You can get 1 mark from this. Okay, so generally, what is meant by weed? Weed means an unwanted plant or undesired plant which we'll found in field. Okay. Sorry, the term weed was coined by Jethrothul. Okay, he is also the father of tillage, father of weed science. Sorry. So definition is not important weed, but okay, just remember that weed is an unwanted plant and the term was given by Jethrothul. He is also the father of weed science. Okay. After that, there is one major center in weed. Weed is National Research Center for Weed Science. It is in Jabalpur. Okay. So after that, remember that in agriculture, total loss. This order is just remember the order. Number is not important, but remember that most of the agriculture loss we will see in our country, India, is weeds contribute more 33%, and then insects in disease. Okay, just remember that agriculture loss major part will be done by weeds. Okay, so in world many weed will use herbicide for weeds, insect for insecticides, for diseases fungicide. In world major part of the what we will use means herbicides, after that insecticides and fungicides. But in our India we use major farmers many they will use insecticide, after that the order is fungicides, and last is herbicides. Okay, our farmers will not consider weeds as a major problem, but they will use many inputs in form of insecticide. After that fungicides and herbicide is the last option. Okay, after learning the just introduction to 3 points, just remember weed dormancy. Okay, there are majorly 3 type of weed dormancy, that is innate or inherent dormancy, induced dormancy, and enforced dormancy. So innate or inherent or primary dormancy, induced or secondary. Okay, just once check these definitions. Okay, what is meant by innate? It is innate or inherent. Inherent only means it is genetically from heredity, like. Okay, this that is called innate dormancy. Okay, induced dormancy means because of environmental conditions like temperature, water conditions, in that way induced. Enforced means when the weeds, like same like seeds only. Okay, when we place, whenever the weeds will deposit at deeper place. Okay, when it is unfavorable conditions, or when the deep is placed very deep, then the seed will undergo dormant and it will wait for suitable conditions to germinate. Okay, just see the definitions, and here you have to remember that Avena fatua, which is wild oat, this weed exhibits all 3 types of dormancy. Okay, examples are there, but just remember this example. Okay, Avena fatua exhibits all 3 types of dormancy. Okay, now again one more terminology is quiescence. Quiescence means it's like dormancy, resting condition of seed. Okay, it is a type of dormancy wherein if ever they ask what is the resting condition of a seed is called, it is quiescence. Okay, after that, harmful effects of weeds. Just remember the harmful effect and the weed caused by it. Okay, now the dropsy disease we'll see in like blindness in humans. Okay, it will caused by Argemone mexicana. Dermal allergies by Parthenium hysterophorus. Prussic acid, HCN or Durin. HCN, the whatever whenever we see HCN or Durin, we have to remember sorghum, but here it is weed, no, so that's why sorghum helipens. After that, oxalate poisoning Amanantha species. Okay, mainly if animals consume these weeds along with the fodder, like while grazing, and then they will see they will get oxalate poisoning. Okay, it is due to amaranth species. Okay, after that, weed dissemination. These are simple to learn. Okay, don't neglect these small topics. Okay, weed dissemination is mainly through two abiotic factors and biotic factors. Okay, just remember the categories. Okay, what will come under which? Abiotic factor means anemochory, pappus, comos, balloon. Okay, anemochory, pappus, comos, balloon, hydrochory, barochory. Okay, if only one time is required to understand this. Okay, no need to revise. Okay, like examples no need, but just remember the which will come under the dissemination part. Okay, anemochory, anemo means wind. Okay, through wind dispersal. Next, pappus, it is a modification of calyx. Okay, comos, it is when weeds are covered with hair. Okay, then balloon type. Okay, it is also related to calyx. Hydrochory, hydro means water. Barochory, it is very important. Barochory. Okay, just remember that barochory is due to gravity. Okay, important. Hydro means, we will remember, hydro means water. So barochory, it is due to gravity. Okay, if you see in biotic factors, it is myrmecory, autochory, zoochory, anthropochory. So myrmecory means it is due to insects, ants. Okay, mainly ants. Okay, if wind dispersal is through ants, it is called myrmecory. Autochory means self dispersal. When weeds, that self plant is dispersed by its own, it is called autochory. Auto means self. Okay, next zoochory means it is through animals. So it is again two types: endozoochory, epizoochory. Endo means through digestion, like excreta, through animal excreta. If weed seeds are transmitted, then it is endozoochory. If it is through attachment, like adhesion of seeds on surface of animal, it is epichory. Epi, outside. Okay, next, anthropochory means, anthro means obviously human related. So when human is when it is transmitted by humans, it is called anthropochory. Okay, after that, there are many types of weeds. Okay, based on the life cycle. Okay, annual, perennial, annual, and biennial, perennial, based on ontogeny. Again, based on season, monsoon, kharif, rabi, summer weeds, ampherals. Here just remember that ampherals is the short-lived weeds. Okay, after that you have many there, based on like place of occurrence, based on the parasitic nature, based on cotyledon, aquatic weeds, parasitic weeds. Okay, once check all those, it will require very less time. Okay, just see the definition. Concept is enough. You will get to know when you read. Okay, after that, what I want to say is, remember these weeds, parasitic weeds, especially the example and host plant, like that particular parasitic weed, and what is the host it is attacking. Okay, among all, like life cycle, place of occurrence, season, everything is important, but this parasitic weed is very very important, where you can expect 1 mark. Okay, now just remember which in parasitic weed mainly we will get to see two: stem parasite, root parasite. Again in stem, complete stem parasite, incomplete stem parasite. Complete means everything, food, water, everything. Incomplete means either food or water, or either for living, staying purpose. Okay, partial, incomplete or partial means same. Okay, in the same way, complete root parasitic weed, incomplete parasitic weed. Okay, these examples are very important, don't get confused. Okay, now complete stem parasite means the parasitic weed is cuscuta. It is called dodder weed. Its another name is dodder. And host plant means for which this parasitic weeds will attack these plants, host, like lucerne, basil, onion, tomato, brinjal. These three important. I wrote only 2-3 examples for each. Okay, so cuscuta, dodder is a, don't get confused. Okay, cuscuta is a complete stem parasite weed. Okay, after that, loranthus. Whenever you see loranthus weed, you have to remember that it will attack plantation and fruit crops. Generally we will see in big mango trees, other weeds will it will branches, that particular weed will ఏమంటారు చుట్టుకోవడంని, బ్రాంచెస్కి చుట్టుకుంటాయి అనమాట ఈ వీడ్స్ అనమాట. ఓకే, మెయిన్లీ ఎక్కువ లొరాంథస్ మీన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్ ప్లాంటేషన్ ఆర్ ఫ్రూట్ క్రాప్స్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈస్ ద హోస్ట్ ప్లాంట్, దిట్ ఈస్ ఇన్కంప్లీట్ parasitic weed. ఓకే, okay, mainly ante if you just see the definition, complete means they don't have chlorophyll and just they derive food from host. So in this complete they will not have food, I mean chlorophyll, they can't prepare their own food, so they depend completely on host plant. Incomplete means they have chlorophyll, they depend only on water, minerals and nutrients. Okay, both food and water complete, only water, I mean no food, it is incomplete. Okay, just examples are important, and which parasite it will come under is important. Okay, after that complete root is orabanco, otherwise called broom rape. Okay, its host plant is tobacco and mustard, very very important. Tobacco, orabanco, tobacco. Okay, it is called broom rape, it is a complete root parasite. After that incomplete root parasite means striga, it is called witchweed. Okay, striga is called witchweed, and the host plant is sorghum, sugarcane, very very important. Okay, don't forget to cover this parasitic weed along with other aquatic weeds or antogeny, season weeds. Okay, once check all this thing, all those like based on which the weeds are categorized. Okay, but parasitic weeds are important among all. Okay, after that based on relativity also weeds are there. Just remember the definition, don't get confused, the words will be similar. Okay, I mean to say is it is least expected, but don't get confused if it is given. Okay, absolute weeds based on relativity. Okay, relative weed, voluntary weed, some definition will be based on the name only, will not get confused. Okay, rogue weed, objectional weed, this objectional weed particularly when we learn crops like for rice, like our wheat, objectional weed is chanopod, convolvulus arvensis, like that you specifically learn from that crop. Okay, don't cover here everything. Okay, objectional weed, noxious weed, mimicry weed, satellite weed. Okay, just see the difference, everything is important, just check once. Okay, in that important is roger weed and objectional weed, just little differences are there, once check these definitions. Okay, after that one more important is herbicide. When we cover weed science, we have to cover the introduction little part and the weed dispersal, parasitic weeds, and this is also important. Many traits are, I mean many herbicides are there, their trade names and when is the time of application. Okay, that is also important. I have written 12 main herbicides. Okay, you once check all the herbicides whenever if you have time, but these 12 herbicides are very important. Okay, there are 12 herbicides and their trade names and when they will apply, like pre-emergence, before the emergence of seed, or pre-plant incorporation, post-emergence. Okay, okay, generally when is the weed one point is important, weed crop weed competition. Okay, when you will see when the weed will compete with crop means in general it is 1/3 of the crop life cycle. Okay, we'll get to see again that crop weed number, for different crops different number is there, but in general just remember that it is 1/3 of crop life cycle. For example, if rice is 120 days its duration, then the crop weed competition will be maximum is in 40 days. Okay, 30 to 40 days, in that way. Okay, just remember this point, 1/3 of their life cycle. Okay, now the herbicide trade names are, for alachlor trade name is lasso or crop star, and this alachlor, atrazine, butachlor, metribuzin, pendimethalin, these 5 are pre-emergence herbicides. Okay, atrazine, atrataf, butachlor, mechit, metribuzin, sencor, pendimethalin, stop. Okay, after that fluchloralin, very important, fluchloralin or besalin trade name, it is a pre-plant incorporation. Next, glyphosate glyphosate, imzethver, isoproteron, metsulfuron, propanil. These are all post-emergence. Especially the imzethver God is an early post-emergent herbicide. Okay, glyphosate Roundup, imzethver God, isoproteron, Ronac or Acron, metasulfuron, Escort, propanil, Stamp F34, Paraquat, Sweep or Gramaxon. Okay, it is a non-selective non-selective herbicide. Okay, in this way, just remember these stress these important things whenever you read weed subject. Okay, and if any again also try to attempt the sectional weed signs, so that you can cover if any major points are there. For me, I will read these I will cover these points. Okay, herbicides, parasitic weeds, and few one liners. Okay, whenever objectional weed is important, when it is related to crops, like like for in rice, or like wild paddy, wheat convolvulus arvensis. ఇంకొకటి కూడా ఉంటుంది మనకి అబ్సల్యూట్ వీడ్ ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో ఇంపార్టెంట్. అబ్సల్యూట్ వీడ్ ఇన్ వీడ్ ఈజ్ చెనోపోడియం ఆల్బమ్. వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ రీడ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ క్రాప్, జస్ట్ రిమెంబర్ దట్ వీడ్ నేమ్. ఓకే, if we talk about few terminologies, okay, one terminology you get to see is questions. Questions is dormant life. Okay, resting stage. After that, rogging means removal of off types from the plant crop. Whenever we'll in field, if we remove the different weeds, like weeds, the process is called rogging. Okay, మన ఆఫ్ టైప్ ప్లాంట్స్. ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ అనదర్ వన్ ఈస్ allelopathy. Allelopathy means the whenever the plants they exude some chemicals which will affect upcoming different plant. Okay, that allelopathy, that plant will release some chemicals which will affect other plants. Okay, this term was first given by Molish. Just remember that Molish means allelopathy. Okay, allelopathy, then that particular chemicals is allelochemicals. Okay, when one plant having a detrimental effect on another through release these the chemicals, allelochemicals are toxic, which will affect other plant. Okay, that is allelopathy. Once you check the definition. Okay, and the term was given by Molish. Okay, after that critical, just remember that it is 1/3 of the life cycle. Okay, after that one more one difference I will say, herbicide and weedicide. Both are used synonymally, but herbicide means it will kill or reduce. Okay, suppress. Okay, kill or suppress, reduce, kill or suppress unwanted vegetation present in the field. Herbicide means either it will kill or it will suppress the field unwanted vegetation in the field. Okay, weedicide means it will kill. Okay, it will kill only weeds, not other vegetation. Okay, it will kill only weeds. Here it will kill or suppress the unwanted in entire field, but here it will kill only weeds. So only weeds, weedicide. Herbicides means unwanted vegetation. Okay, next one is bioremediation. Bioremediation term also important ones. Check the definition. It is to remove weeds, the weeds which accumulate heavy metals like lead, mercury Hg anukunta symbol, mercury, cadmium. Okay, so bioremediation is to removing weeds which accumulate the heavy metals like lead కూడా pb కదా. Okay, lead, mercury, cadmium. Okay, so this is called bioremediation. So removing this process is called bioremediation. Examples are Eichhornia crassipes. Just remember the definition and the metals they will accumulate and the examples. Okay, Eichhornia crassipes and hydrilla. Okay, Once check this definition, okay? Rogging, allelopathy, and bioremediation. Bioremediation is weeds which remove these metals, okay? Like example, Iconia crassiceps and hydrilla, okay? After that, another terminology is stale seed bed. Stale seed bed. Stale seed bed means, it is a technique. It is a technique wherein we will allow the weeds to grow, okay, by giving irrigation. Before germination, we will flush the irrigation and we will remove, okay. If you have to say definition, means the technique in which weeds are allowed to germinate by application of pre-sowing irrigation and kill before sowing, okay, by the application of herbicide. We will allow and we will kill. That is called stale seed bed. So that if any weed seeds are there, it will not germinate while when crop will go, okay. Once check this stale seed bed condition, okay. After that, blind hoeing. Whenever you see this blind hoeing, you have to remember that it is done in sugarcane, okay. It is done after the sowing of sugarcane to mainly control sugarcane weeds, okay. Blind hoeing is done in sugarcane, okay. సో ఇంకేమైనా ఉన్నాయా ఇన్ని ఇంపార్టెంట్ టర్మినాలజీస్ ఉన్నవన్నీ కవర్ చేసినట్టున్నాను. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ వీడ్, ఓకే. ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను నేను, ఓకే. వన్స్ ఎవర్ వీడ్ మీన్స్ యూ కవర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. 1 mark we can expect 1 mark from weed science. It is a simple subject, but more than conceptual, it is memory based, like examples, which crop which weed is present, whether it is absolute pest or ఇంకోటి ఏంటిది, ఇది అబ్సల్యూట్ పెస్ట్ కాంపిటీషన్ ఏది ఉంది, లైక్ కంప్లీట్ కాంపిటేటివ్, like similar to that crop, okay. ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి. వీడ్స్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్, వీడ్ dormancy, harmful effects, weed dissemination, parasitic weed, very important, parasitic weed, and these 12, remember every herbicides లోకి వచ్చేసరికి when you have time, just once check this. I have written in tabular formula, okay. Once, if possible, take this screenshot. If you have time and if you want to, this selective herbicide, which one is selective herbicide, which is foliage active, which is soil activity, other state exams also, agriculture examples, important actually herbicide topic, but according to me, for AFO, not in depth, it is not necessary, but if anyone is interested, just take this screenshot, okay. Herbicide selective, I'm not getting whether I'm complete, మొత్తం కవర్ అవుతుందా ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి. సెలెక్టివ్ ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ ఇట్లా పెడతాను. సెలెక్టివ్, నాన్ సెలెక్టివ్, ఫోలియేజ్ యాక్టివ్, సాయిల్ యాక్టివ్, కాంటాక్ట్, సిస్టమిక్, మొబైల్, ఇమ్మొబైల్, ఓకే. సెలెక్టివ్, తర్వాత నాన్ సెలెక్టివ్, ఫోలియేజ్, సాయిల్ యాక్టివ్, కాంటాక్ట్, సిస్టమిక్, residual, non-residual, fumigant, permanent, okay. If you have time, you can go through this table. Otherwise, these 12 herbicides are very important. 12 herbicides, trade names, and at time of their application, like pre-emergent, pre-plant incorporation, post-emergence, okay. After that, crop weed competition in general, 1/3 of its crop life cycle, okay. If you have time, you remember that specificity, like which crop has how much, and absolute weeds, whenever you read rice and wheat, just remember their weeds, those are important crops, that's why, okay. After that, అబ్జెక్షనల్ వీడ్ ఇందాక రాలే కదా, అబ్సల్యూట్ వీడ్ ఆర్ అబ్జెక్షనల్ వీడ్, whenever you come across major crops like rice, wheat, maize, just remember their absolute weeds, objectional weeds, and mimicry weeds, okay. Whenever I will try to cover, whenever I say the crops, I will cover in that chapter, okay. For now, just remember these definitions and these terminologies, okay. Rogging, allelopathy, bioremediation, blind hoeing, stale seed bed, okay. Maximum, Jethrothul scientists are related, like in terminology of tillage or weed science father, hoe, like this instrument, hand hoe, these are all hoe, mana Jethrothule, he invented these all things, okay. So with this, we'll complete weed science, okay. 1 mark major ekko raadu, okay. 1 mark, I hope you get benefit with this video. Hope దీంట్లో నుంచి 1 mark అన్న రావాలి. నేను చెప్పినందుకైనా ఓకే సింపుల్ కదా. నేను ఇందులో నుంచి వస్తే ఐదర్ యూనో ఇన్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్స్ ఐదర్ వీ విల్ గెట్ టు సీ పారాసైటిక్ వీడ్స్ ఆర్ హర్బిసైడ్. ఓకే అంతే ఇంకా. ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ యువర్ టైం. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్. హోప్ దిస్ వీడియో ఈస్ హెల్ప్ఫుల్ ఫర్ యూ. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ యువర్ టైం. హ్యాపీ లెర్నింగ్.